Hi scientists, this is your state changes summative test. So this is summative points. We have instructions. Open your state changes slideshow. So you should, on your Canvas homepage, open up your state changes slideshow. Number 2, use the resources in that slideshow to take this test. So you should have two screens side by side, your slideshow and then this test and recording. So in your slideshow, you have resources. You have your vocabulary, solid, liquid, gas, melt, freeze, evaporation and condensation. You have your solid notes, your liquid notes, your gas notes. You have your melt and freeze notes, your evaporation condensation notes, and then also your review. So you have a lot of great resources to use, and you should use them while taking this test. Listen to this and follow along. After every question, you should press pause, find the answer in your resources, choose the correct answer, and then press play. Make sure you submit when you are done so you can get credit for all of the awesome work that you're about to do. Question number 1, which state of matter is shown in the picture below? So I see my box that is my container, and I see my blue particles. They touch the bottom, they touch each other, but they're not squished, and they touch the sides. Does that show a solid, a liquid, or a gas? Press pause, find your resource, choose your answer, and then press play. Question 2, which state of matter is shown in this picture? My box is my container, my red particles are my red dots. I see that they are very close together. They do touch the bottom, but they do not touch the sides. Is this a solid, a liquid, or a gas? Press pause, find the answer in your resources, choose the correct answer, and press play. Which state of matter is shown in this picture? I have my box and then my green particles. The green particles are not touching each other and they go all over. Is that a solid, a liquid, or a gas? Press pause, find the answer in your resources, press play. Question number 4, which state or states of matter have a definite shape? You may pick 1, 2, or all 3 answers. So which of them, solid, liquids, and gases, have a definite shape? You place them in a different container and they have a definite shape. Is it just solid, just liquid, just gas, or is it more than one? Press pause, find the answer in your resources, choose your answer, and press play. Question 5, which state or states of matter have an indefinite shape? Again, you may pick 1, 2, or all 3 answers. Do solids have an indefinite shape? Do liquids have an indefinite shape? Do gases have an indefinite shape? Press pause, find it in your resources, and press play. Now, if I look at 4 and 5, they're both talking about shape. One says definite, one says indefinite. So between these two answers, I should have solid chosen on one of these 2 questions, liquid on one of these 2 questions, and gas on one of these 2 questions. So there will be a question where you choose more than one state. Question 6, which state or states of matter take up a definite amount of space? You may pick 1, 2, or all 3 answers. Does a solid have a definite amount of space? Does a liquid have a definite amount of space? Does a gas have a definite amount of space? Press pause, find the answer of these 3 and definite amount of space in your resources, choose 1 or more, and press play. Question 7 is also about amount of space, but question 7 is about indefinite. Which state or states of matter take up an indefinite amount of space? You may pick 1, 2, or all 3 answers. Does a solid have an indefinite amount of space? Does a liquid have an indefinite amount of space? Does a gas have an indefinite amount of space? Find the answer in your resources, choose it, and then continue. Again, 6 and 7 are both talking about amount of space. 6 says definite, 7 says indefinite. So between these two, you should have a solid chosen in one of them, you should have liquid chosen in one of them, and you should have gas chosen in one of them. Now we're getting on to our state changes. For an object to freeze, heat must be added or taken away. Press pause, find it in your resources, and continue. Question 9. For an object to melt, heat must be added or taken away. Press pause, find the answer in your resources, choose your answer, and press play. For an object to evaporate, heat must be added or taken away. Press pause to find the answer and choose it. Press play to begin again. Question 11. For an object to go through condensation, heat must be added or taken away. All right, now we're getting into what are these state changes? From what state to what state? Question 12. Which state change is when a solid turns into a liquid? If it helps, pick a substance like water. Think about, what do we call it when it's a solid? What do we call it when it's a liquid? Sometimes that helps me think about the answer to these kinds of questions. Is this called melting, freezing, evaporation, or condensation? Press pause, choose your answer, and press play. Question 13. Which state change is when a liquid turns into a gas? Is that melt, freeze, evaporate, or condensation? Question 14. Which state change is when a gas turns into a liquid? Is that melt, freeze, evaporate, or condensation? Question 15. Which state change is when a liquid turns into a solid? Is that melt, freeze, evaporate, or condensation? Question 16 now is about particle speeds. During which state changes does particle speed increase? There's a hint. You will absolutely need to choose more than one answer. So when I melt something, if you think particle speed increases, choose melt. You need more than one. So what about when it freezes? Does particle speed increase? How about evaporate? Does particle speed increase? And condensation, does particle speed increase? Our last question is talking about particle distance, and this time we're going to think decrease. Decrease the distance between particles. During which state change does particle distance decrease? You will choose more than one answer again. When I melt something, does the particle speed decrease? If so, choose it. If not, leave it blank. During freezing, does particle speed decrease? During evaporate, does particle speed decrease? And what about during condensation? Does particle speed decrease? Press pause, find the answer in your resources, answers, because it will be more than one state, choose them, and press play. Now you need to submit your quiz, and you'll need to do that twice, and then you will see your score. Good job, scientists.